Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also got the DC fan page link that has the issue we're about to cover. You get plot synopsis and character bio. So we're going to be looking at one of the comic books that changed comic books for freaking ever. Jim Lee's WildC.a.t.s #1. This, along with Spawn #1, Youngblood #1, and Savage Dragon #1, changed the face of comic books. Not only was it the launch of Image Comic Books, who is still around today, this particular comic book changed the way people draw, period. Jim Lee had just come off his run on Uncanny X-Men and went to WildC.a.t.s. Now, haven't covered Jim Lee's X-Men run yet because I'm still way back, is still in the 70s doing my X-Men run. So, the Jim Lee's X-Men will have to wait, but don't worry, if you want to see it, there's a billion YouTube channels that have every issue covered. So, I decided, let me jump off. Jim Lee, believe it or not, does not have a lot of work. He's done plenty of covers, but inside, he's got the Punisher War Journal, which we've covered a few issues here and there. We have his Uncanny X-Men run, then his WildC.a.t.s run, and then Batman. Let me know if I've missed anything. He's done fill-in issues here or there throughout his Image Comics run. I think he did 6 issues of the Suicide Squad, but those were half issues. And, he had a JLA run. The most he really lasts on a title is about 12 issues. So, I guess, let's see. Fantastic Four, he lasted 6 issues. Superman, 12. Then he did another Superman that was 6. He did the Batman that was 12, and then he did All-Star Batman, which I think he ended up with just 8 issues. All in all, he's been around for years, has influenced millions of people, changed the way people draw, and yet, when you compare him to the likes of John Byrne, it just does not have a lot. So we got this cover by Jim Lee and Scott Williams, who hitched himself. Scott Williams is a really good inker, but he really changed his style to fit to Jim Lee's. Jim Lee is mostly, you see all this hatching, and that's really what changed. If you take a look at Marvel Comics and DC Comics during this time, this is the thing that I say. This changed how everything was changed because of this, because of Jim Lee's success. Marvel and DC basically made all their artists change their style and say, draw like Jim Lee, which is unfortunate. Mark Silvestri even did it, but Mark Silvestri is a great penciler. So Mark Silvestri stuff looks great. If you take a look at how Mark Silvestri used to draw and then watch what happened when he went into the hatching. And you can just see all this hatching here. So, all right, let's get going. So, Brandon Choi is the co-creator, co-writer. In cartoonist kayfabe, they call Brandon Choi the luckiest man in comics. Anybody who hitched themselves to Jim Lee is so lucky. Jim Lee made their career. So, all right. So, this is how should I describe it? This story is not complicated. Most of what we want to do is just basically look at the pretty pictures. Oh, and Jim Lee also had, and I have it covered. He did a short series with Image Comics called The Adventures of Max Faraday, I believe. Divine Right. Divine Right. So I have covered all 12 issues of that in a very quick playlist. I basically didn't spend a lot of times giving you the plot because really, this, there's not much to talk about. So we're gonna look at the pretty pictures, and I guess don't worry about the story. So these guys are um, in Antarctica in 1980, and of course we get the past. Um, they're looking into a meteorite crater. So what's happening here is a Russian satellite crash landed here in Antarctica, and these people here are basically trying to recover the wreckage. But from inside the wreckage comes Void, who will be a one of the main characters in there. And she's saying, "Hey, give me the orb. Give it to me before it's too late." But then turns out she's gone, and this guy's like, "Hey, we should keep this to ourselves." But then the other guy's like, "We didn't see anything." Right off the bat, I love the nod to Frank Miller already with silhouettes. Jim Lee is absolutely positively one of the greatest pencilers ever. That is undebatable. He absolutely is. He is. I don't know. I don't know whether you rank him uh, based on how, based on body of work. It's you. I would be okay with you not ranking him as number one, just be again based on his body of work. But if you go by influence, my God, how can he not be the greatest? How this dude changed everything is it's unbelievable. So, we're at International Operations, which is known as IO. So now we are in August 9th of 1992. And so, this is John Lynch, who sort of looks like Sebastian Shaw. Got the nice little widow's peak. I love it. Just the sunglasses and wearing all this heavy stuff. Such Jim Lee uh things. So he's this John Lynch is basically monitoring explosion that's taking place in Georgetown, and this is his assistant Frank Colby here. And he suggests that maybe there's two rogue covert teams that went rogue, but then suddenly Void appears again, and she's like, "No, not when we were so close." But then, she disappears again. So, and then, this guy calls for security and get ready to shoot, and he says, "Nope, it's too late. She's gone." So, all right. So remember, this was the future here in 1992, and now we're in 1990. Okay, so we're kind of flipping between, um, you know, times. So, all right, so we're in New York City. This is Jacob Marlowe, who'll be important. He's like the leader of the WildC.a.t.s. Will be the leader. Love the fly. Um, so, then we got the title here, Resurrection Day. So, all right, and he's sleeping on this garbage pile, and then these guys are here to beat up on him. Looks like they're just kind of some punks here, and he has powers. You can see that, and he's like, "Whoa, what's happening?" Man, I was so stoked when this series came out. Um, this guy then hits him from behind. The backward hats was a big thing during the 90s. And then kicks him, and this guy's going to stab him, but then stop from behind. And here's Void. Killing him, you jeopardize the survival of mankind. And she kind of pushes him away. And so Jacob is like, please don't hurt me. And then she kind of explains who she is. So she tells him that he is, in fact, an alien named Lord Emp from a planet called Carib. I think that's a biblical name. So, but don't hang me, or uh, don't hold me to that. And she tells him that he is meant for a greater destiny, and she's gonna help him on this road to recovery. So Jim Lee, of course, is known for these beautiful women, um, and a lot of hatching. Goodness gracious, he hatches a lot. So now we are moving along. So we're now in the day before, and Jacob Marlowe is still drunk, but he's sort of wearing a suit. And you can see him kind of going out. He's hit by a car, but just continues grumbling. And this guy's like, top of the morning. He's like, my ass, just hold the door. Yes, sir. And good morning, Mr. Marlowe. Shut up. I don't pay you to talk. Yes, sir, Mr. Marlowe. And so they're going to get him ready. So you can see here they're cutting his hair and giving him a quick shave between the lower lobby all the way to the top. I love the cucumbers on the eyes. So he gets to the penthouse. And so he's like, I feel like $1 billion. Actually, 2.5 billion at the opening market. And so, remind me to give you two a raise. He said, you did last week. Hey, it's only money. Real quick. In this is from 1992, I believe, is when this series first came out. Believe it or not, 2 billion. Now we have billionaires that have more than that. I mean, but $2 billion actually was quite a bit of change, even in 1992. So hard to believe it's over 30 years ago. So, and then of course there's Void. So, and look at this, just awesome, awesome stuff, awesome art. This isn't a complicated story, so I'll kind of just as we kind of look at it, we'll get you going here. So, um, we get a little bit of her origin. She's trying to find a man who uh, covets the orb, and um, he says here he mastered the abilities to wield awesome energies and attacked her, and everything was set in motion because of him. Now, I honestly kind of bowed out after Jim Lee left the series, but then picked it up when uh, Alan Moore started it. But I haven't read this in for freaking ever. So I think this is Lord Emp, or it's supposed to be, or will be, or something. But we will actually cover the Alan Moore stuff. I do Alan Moore stuff every Monday. So I will eventually cover his run. Right now I'm doing Captain Britain. And then I'm gonna do Miracle Man, and then eventually we'll get to some of his image stuff that he did for Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane. So I believe this is Spartan and Maul and Warblade, who's like a Wolverine character. There's like a Hulk character, and so now we got ourselves the bad guys here. This guy here is Hellspawn, who is actually, I love this Deadpool looking character here. I think his name is Pike here. But Hellspawn is actually pretty cool design. So, he's a leader of this cabal. Like I said, this is Hestia, I believe. So you can see here he does his bidding. Look at all the hatching, and so look at how cool Hellspawn looks. And so then he kills this guy because he suffocates him, because he can't breathe. But look at freaking Hellspawn. He is great design, kind of like Firestorm, but cooler. And I think Firestorm's awesome. So, um, and I think this little girl is Providence, and I think she's related to Void. Um, like I said, we're mostly concerning ourselves with looking at the beautiful art here. So, anyway, real quick, sorry. So this guy's being killed because he sold information of the location of the gifted one, and information um that he wasn't authorized. So that's why he's being killed. So told you I would just sort of fill you in as we went along. My concern with this isn't so much what the story is, but um, the Jim Lee's absolutely beautiful artwork. So this is the gnome who the that gentleman had sold the information to, and so the price for that information, he doesn't want money. He instead asks for a favor to be granted without question. He's of course says, "Fine, it's yours. Your word of honor," he says. His word is his bond. So then here we got Grifter, who's going into like a nightclub, and sorry. So I rotated this so that this image would look a little bit better here than having to have it on. So here's Voodoo. And again, we got the backwards hat, big 90s thing. If you are not impressed and don't think Jim Lee is absolutely positively one of the greatest pencilers to ever live, um, I don't know what you're smoking, man. And by the way, um, this art was, now you see this hatching all the time, but keep in mind that in the 90s, only Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane were doing it. Anyway, these are evil agents here. And of course, you can see their true form. They're part of that, whatever the bad guys are. I really don't remember. Um, so anyway, they want her. That's who both the Cabal and the Wildcats are trying to forget. And so the people run out of the nightclub, and so this is the lady that was, I believe, with the Cabal here. And so Grifter puts. By the way, this looks really badass. So I love that mask of his, and so they look at this armor. This is so freaking cool. Um, Jim Lee is great. That's all I'll say is how great he is. So, all right, and so they find out where Voodoo is, so they're gonna go, or not Voodoo, but they see that Cole needs help. So, and so she's beats the crap out of Grifter, but of course he's like I don't know. Everybody had guns at this time, so he shoots her, but of course that doesn't kill her because she's super tough. See, she's still there, and pretty soon we're gonna then get one more person in there. Here come the Wildcats. Look at this. What a freaking amazing. Tell me if you weren't a teenager during this time, if you wouldn't get your nerdgasm on. So, um, look at this. Just amazing, amazing stuff. Um, and so he's gonna shoot him, and he's like, I can make the shot. So, from behind, we get the last member of our team. And is it Zealot? Yeah, I believe it's Zealot. Yep, there she is, Zealot. And of course, we got Jim Lee. Um, he loves the beautiful women in the scantily clad, dressed. So, man, look at all this hatching. And so, feel free, like I said, on the DC fan page that I have linked below, you can get the so here she's gonna blow everybody up here. And boom. So, and then we are going to see who the leader of this is. And he turns around, and of course, at that time, the vice president of the United States was Dan Quayle, and that is who the leader of these demonites, whatever they're called. So, anyway, so here you go, Wildcats #1. Jim Lee's art is absolutely glorious. It's it's worth just freaking having this. This art is just, it's insane. It brings so much nostalgia in me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening. Goodbye.